Hello everyone, my name is Sarah Wyman Grover, and this is S.L. Wyman's Rock and Writing. I'm a writer and tarot enthusiast who will be publishing under the name S.L. Wyman. And if you're new here, welcome. If not, welcome back to the channel. If this is the first time you're stumbling onto this, feel free to check everything out. Like, subscribe, comment, all of that wonderful stuff. Glad to have you here, glad to join the community, and glad to have more people watching my stuff. So, I know I haven't been uploading a lot recently. I will be making a video, just kind of catching up later. But I have so many wonderful VRs that I have seen rolling around lately. I just have to start getting caught up on them, and I mean, some of them are old, like months old. Case in point, the one I'm about to do right now. If this is the kind of thing you enjoy, stick around, because this is going to be my VR to Simon at the Hermit's Cave and his hashtag My Workhorse Decks. So the purpose of this tag is basically to show off the decks that really hit hard. The ones that are, closest thing if you believe in a soul deck, the ones that are kind of your soul decks, the ones that you keep coming back to over and over again because they just work for you. They speak to you and they help you out with certain aspects of your practice, as indicated by the prompts, which I will go ahead and be doing those. When I get the video uploaded, I will edit all of that into the section below, like what the prompts are, the decks I used, and I'll try to link Simon's original video as well, because I'm sure there's a playlist out there. I had a lot of fun watching these, so I wanted to get in on it. I've only done one other VR, and I've wanted to do like 20. So I kind of wanted to actually jump in on that. But before I rush into that, I just want to take time to say blessed solstice, everybody, to all those of you who are celebrating midsummer or Litha like I am here in Michigan. I hope you had a wonderful day, and it was such a beautiful day here too. So hopefully we'll continue to have good weather, although I know it's been really hot. So if you see me have to jump up and put on the fan, you'll know why, because it's been a heat wave around here. But without further ado, let's get into these decks, shall we? So, our hashtag My Workhorse Decks. The first deck is supposed to be the deck that you use for shadow work. Now, before this first deck came into my collection, which it only did kind of recently-ish, I would have totally picked a different deck. But this deck, as soon as I pulled it out of the box and started flipping through it and started looking through the book, I knew I had my new shadow work deck. And as soon as I did the interview spread with it, it was just like, yep, this is the one. This is the one that's going to take me to all the scary places and shine a light in there and make me face that monster in the dark, whether I like it or not, and in the best way. And quite frankly, I am so here for it. And that deck is the Darkwood Tarot. This is the back. I recently received this from a friend of mine, Scott, over at Scorpio Sun Tarot. He was getting rid of some decks to save up some money to support getting a therapy pet for himself, so I had to get in on that. But anyway, as you can see, let me just try to get these in the frame. Now, mind you, some of these are going to be flipped, because this is one of the few decks that seems to like reversals. Now, I won't flip through the whole thing, but as you can see, I mean, these images are... Yeah, I know you're getting a lot of upside down ones, but I mean, they are challenging, they're confronting, they are not easy. I mean, some of them are kind of nice, but even the ones that are what I would consider, your pretty happy cards, like, I mean, look at a creepy freaking clown. I don't know about you, but I grew up on Stephen King. So that guy scares me. I don't like him. I see that and I go, no thank you. Nope, and right out of there. Like, even the kind of creepy, right? So you can see definitely where this would be a very good deck for shadow work, because it's got, I mean, even the King Cups, I mean, yeah, he looks great, but at first he also looks a little sus, don't you think? A little creepy? At least I think he does. So, I mean, oh goodness, the wand suit especially. I mean, I love cats. We know I love cats. And it's the Three of Cups. That's supposed to be a happy card. But that does not look like a good time to me. I'm sorry. That looks like, three witches from Macbeth are about to do some kind of spell. That does not look happy to me. So, as you can imagine, that's just like a couple cards. The whole deck is like that. Very creepy, very atmospheric, and literally it's like the old Grimm's fairy tale. Somebody just took you out into the middle of the night into that creepy forest and just dumped your butt right in the middle and said, figure it out. Find your way out. So, I love it. I'm kind of there for it. So that's my deck for Shadow Work. The next one's probably going to be another bit of a controversial choice. This is for Inner Child Work. Most people are going to see this deck and be like, oh my god, that's creepy. Is that not a Shadow Work deck? But for me, I find the images kind of cute in a very Addams Family, Morticia Addams kind of way. I find them almost comforting. So for me, this is more of an Inner Child Work deck, which is the next prompt, Inner Child Work. And the deck I chose for that is the Shadowlands Tarot. Let's see what the bats. Yes, I know, Goth Princess. But anyway. But we're going to try and see if I can do this without too much hassle here. Show you a few of the cards. It does not want to focus. I'm going to try to put my face out of the frame. Does not work. Okay. Well, we'll try. I apologize if the images are a little blurry. But, I mean, as you can see, the creatures look a little creepy, but, come on, look. That Squatch just wants to come over and say hello and make some friends, right? The Magician's like a creepy mad scientist. He's kind of awesome. Got a lot of hard-working things. And the Ace of Swords is a feather. The quill and the pen is mightier than the sword. How awesome is that for the Ace of Swords? I love that. And it's just, look, it's just so cute. Like the little kitty dreaming about himself. Just adorable. Little Audrey 2's about to try to eat your head. Again, for most people that would be creepy as heck. For me, Inner Child Work, it's something my inner kid laughs at that and goes, this is adorable, in a very Alice in Wonderland kind of way. So that is my choice for Inner Child Work. For some reason, these two decks they're very comforting, and I like using the Darkwood and the Shadowland together. For a lot of people, that would be way too freaking intense, but for me, it's like a wonderfully, powerfully, hard-hitting thing, because it goes right to the root of whatever it is you need to deal with. Makes you confront it, and then kind of gives you a little bit of sugar for the medicine to kind of help you find your way out, and a little bit of soothing for that inner kid, right? Might be just me, but that is, kind of how I like to work with them, and those are my choices for the first two. Next one was an absolute no-brainer. It's Pathworking. And while I have several decks that have very evocative, wonderful images, the one that I chose for Pathworking is the deck that when I work with it, I feel almost like I'm channeling. It's like I'm somewhere else. I'm sitting in a different place, getting messages from my higher self, from higher beings, if you will. And that is the Tarot of the She. It's also one of the ones I'm working with this month because, midsummer. But, it's not going to be too hard to see I like this one. Holy crap, the last time I worked with that card, it's Judgment. Wow. Such powerful imagery and evocative feelings. Oh, I love her so much. She's awesome. Just beautiful, powerful. Look at that. Could lose yourself in that. it just, the artwork, you can just get drawn right into it and come back an hour later and be like, what the heck just happened? But you feel like you had the most profound freaking experience ever. Oh, this one. I love that card. I can distinctly remember the first time I pulled it, getting just that sense of remember whose freaking daughter you are. Remember how strong you really are. And beautiful deck. Cannot recommend it enough. Emily Carding is the artist who did this, by the way. I should go back and probably tell you who did these. This Shadowlands is by Monica Berdersky. Guidebook, by the way. Awesome. Same thing with Terror of the She. So one thing you're going to find that I have in common with most of these is their guidebooks are really awesome. And the Darkwood is Sasha Graham. I do not remember some of the artists' names. I know they paired with different people. I'm sorry, but if the artist names are different from the producers, I may not necessarily remember them. I'm so sorry. My apologies to the artists, because I know that without the art, you don't have the deck. So, my apologies, but those are my first three choices. The next one, I'll need this real quick, because I want to make sure I get the name right, because I will consistently not say the name of this artist right. Okay, this next deck is by David DeAngelis, and it is inspired by the work of David Bowie. It is Starman. This, I know my shirt's not showing the frame, but it's David Bowie as Jared from Labyrinth. Huge fan of his. So this is personal growth and development. And again, these are the backs. Very 80s, so it's totally me. I love pairing this with the Neon Moon Tarot, which I'm not going to show here because I'm saving it to put with this for like a video on, or a questionnaire. Like if they say, hey, what are some perfect pairs? This is the Neon Moon. Hands freaking down, but anyway. So, yeah. And I might add, every single deck that I'm showing you has brought me to tears. In a good way. At one point or another. Oh, this deck, though. I love it. Yes, it's busy. Yes, it's loud. Yes, energetically, it is a lot. That tower, though. Kaboom. But this deck is just so wonderful. It has taken me by the scruff and just pointed things out. No holding back. So much. And it does it almost every time I use it. It is consistently there for me to hold up a mirror and not let me bullshit my way out of things. Every single one of these decks is very good at getting to the heart and going, you don't get to bullshit your way out of this one. This one especially is like, no. Here's where we need to grow. Here's where we need to fix. Here's where we need to change and move. And just before I move on to the next deck, I have to show you my favorite card, because when it came up, it literally made me cry. Because of course, I'll usually do this while I'm sitting there listening to, Ziggy Stardust and the rise and fall of the spiders from Mars, because why wouldn't you, right? But Starman comes on, right? I've had a hard time listening to that song since David Bowie passed, but in the middle of that song, what comes up for me? My favorite card in the deck. Starman. Good old Cosmic J himself. And that is the only card in the whole deck that it literally says there is no reverse meaning. This is just the cosmos giving you a little bop on the head to say, hey, you got this. And it made me so freaking happy. That's the Starman Tarot. The next one is Ride or Die. This one really doesn't need much of an introduction, because I'm pretty sure most of us as tarot readers will say our first deck or our oldest deck Or the RWS is our ride or die. And guess what? RWS, my universal rider weight, very first deck I got for my 18th birthday, is my ride or die. And this way, I love the backs. Of course, you can tell it's old. It's bent, dirty, and I'm not going to belabor the flip through on this one either, because we all know these images pretty well. But this little guy right here and I have been through so much together in 20-some years. Ups and downs, ins and outs, and even when this deck does not come out a lot, it could be 10 years in between using it, and it's like meeting an old friend. It'll still be right there, ready to go, and it will still hit me with the tough truths and with the honest interpretations. And this is a workhorse. This is one of my workhorses. This is one of those ones I will use for any reading for anybody, anytime, anywhere, because the RWS, it works. So that would be ride or die. Now, next deck is kind of a special one, and that is the Hello There. Of course, I have to say it like Obi-Wan coming in. Hello there. But anyway, Hello There is supposed to be a new-ish deck to your collection that, you're pretty sure is going to wind up on your workhorse list, because it just wants attention and it works and it just screams, let's do this. Let's go. Let's work together. And for me, that's the Everyday Witch. I fought this deck so freaking hard. So freaking hard, because it is such a stereotypical, hilariously kitschy, just, with all the pointy hats and the brooms and the striped stocking. They'll just like, no, can we not? But something just kept bugging me about this darn deck. So I finally caved when I had a little extra cash on hand and bought it. Figured worst come to worst, oh no, I'll give it to somebody else. No. Opened the package, and from moment one, didn't, flip through it, and something about it in person changed everything completely. And I realized I have been really considering going pro with my readings for a while. And, maybe turn that into a side hustle. This is my client deck. Did not know it until I started using it. It's like, no, this is my client deck. This is my new workhorse, because it was all sorts of, let's do this, let's work together, from the moment I pulled it out of the package. And also, it's a little bit of a connection to the me that was first getting into Wicca, first getting into this when I was 17, 18 years old. A little bit of a connection to that, a little bit of a, don't forget your roots. You had a lot of fun. Was it hokey? Yes. But did you have a lot of fun? You had a lot of fun. So, and it's a good deck to remind me not to take myself too seriously. So there you have it. And that deck would be by Deborah Blake, by the way. So, next one is Hello Again. Of the original prompts. I have 10. But the original 7 prompts, last one is Hello Again. And I took this to mean a deck that came into and out of your collection, but I also kind of took it in the direction of the one that just you don't use it all the time. And it's not your oldest deck. It's not, the one that you've had since you were a little kid, but at the same time, it's the deck that you just keep throwing back into the rotation every now and again, because every now and again it just wants to spend some time with you. And you're really starting to develop a new appreciation for it all over again, even if you had gone back and forth. And for me, as if the shirt didn't give it away, it's the Labyrinth Tarot. I know a lot of you are going to be like, ooh, Inside Edition, pit deck. Yeah, you'd be right. And I know some of those are very, very, very cash grabby. I'm not gonna lie. But this little guy kind of stole my heart from the moment I pulled it out of the box. And I was gonna, the goblins like to play, what can I say? I was gonna put it back on the shelf for a while to give it a break, and just couldn't do it. Could not do it. So it went back into its little pouch, and it stays here on my desk because it just gives me such deep, meaningful, happy freaking readings. It's connected me back to my childhood. It's given me a lot of really great inner child work, right up there with the Shadowland Tarot. It's phenomenal. That's the Labyrinth Tarot. Minerva Sequel, I think, is the person who produced that. Easy. Most of these are mass market, I think. I believe there's only one for sure I know that is not mass market, and that's the very last one. Anyway, because I know my phone and I may not have much time, we're going to go ahead and move along. The next one is, I decided to put in Ancestor Work. For me, it's a craft because I have a lot of Celtic ancestry. Those are the backs. And this is by Stephanie Cargom. I'm probably saying their name wrong. And the artwork's by Will Warrington. I know him because I've owned most of the work he's done, because as you can see, homeboy does some beautiful work. But yeah, I was looking for something that would help me do big deck, tiny hands. I was looking for something that would help me do ancestor work, but a lot of the ones that were out there I didn't feel comfortable using because my heritage is not, well, look at me. I'm Northern Western European. Some of the other decks that are out there for ancestor work I did not feel comfortable using because it almost would have felt appropriative. Or like, we got to work up to that kind of thing. I may not necessarily be ready for that. So I wanted to find something that was a little closer to my own background, that I wouldn't feel like I was, pinching somebody else's culture using it. And this worked like a charm. Oh my God, that moon card. Colors in that card. Oh, so pretty. But again, another one, real super powerful. Fell in love with it from the moment it came out of the box. And it lives in one of the little drawers on my caddy here on my station. Stays right there. The next one is Deity Work. And that's Murder Crow's Tarot for my work with the Morrigan. Another one I fought real hard. This is by Corrado Raw, by the way. Fought it for several reasons. Number one, I was not sure that I wanted to heed the call to the Morrigan because, again, oh my God, so stereotypical, blah, 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 but the energy just would not go. So I decided, well, okay, I'm just going to accept it and we're going to do this. I do not like monochrome decks, guys. That is, this deck, this one should also be in hashtag not my aesthetic. Because I do not like monochrome decks, but holy crap, y'all, is this one. It me like a ton of bricks between the face every time right here, every time I've used it, especially when in connection with Morrigan. She comes through so clear, and I get so many good messages from this deck. It's really nice. And I love how in not natural light, it looks like almost ivory, like almost bone colored, but it's black and white. But it's raw, it's very visceral. Does not pull punches. But it's wonderful, wonderful deck. I would highly, highly recommend it. But that's my deck for use with the Morrigan. And my final deck. I thought I would throw in your deck for Affirmation. The deck you pick up when you've had a bad freaking day and you just need somebody to give you a little bit of love. You just need a little bit of a, hey, that was bad, here's how we make it better, and here's a little bit of a band-aid for your day kind of thing. And for me, it really wasn't a choice. It is my Weaver Tarot Journeyman Edition by Threads of Fate. AKA, this deck is one of the ones that has a name. And its name is Journey. Because Don't Stop Believing in this deck is just amazing. And I actually love the fact that I can kind of show you the holographs. Usually, this thing does not want to show up on camera, like, at all. Which is a damn shame because I keep wanting to show it because of how beautiful it is. I'm going to move it up a little bit. There we go. But you can see why I like this deck. And why I consider it, like my top 3 / possibly soul deck. Because it's just so stinking pretty. And deep. Each one of these little images and pictures has symbolic meaning. Over and above what the normal meaning of the card is. There's other deeper stuff packed into it, so there's always a lot to unpack. Oh, Hermit. The beautiful lantern and the star. Oh, I love it. So happy. I'm going to try not to flip through the whole deck, but I'm like giddy that it's actually showing up for you guys for a change. And you can actually kind of see. I've mentioned this deck several times, and I've never been able to get the images or the backgrounds to show up, but now you can see all the beautiful shiny, and that makes me so happy. I'm a bit of a... It's no wonder I like crows and ravens and magpies, because, squirrel, gotta love all the bling and the bright colors, and shiny. But, it's so beautiful, and it speaks to my happy side. It gives me so much inspiration and hope. But at least half of these, if not more, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 out of the 10 I mentioned are right here on my table at all times. And never will be without them. So, but there you have it. Those are some of my most treasured workhorse. Basically, these are the decks that I would be happy. I would be sad if all my other decks disappeared, but these would be the ones that I'd be like, no, I need these ones. If the rest of them go away, I need these decks. Because this is pretty much everything I could ever want to do. Well, that and the Neon Moon. That would have to stay too, because cannot have my Starman without the Neon Moon, and I'd have to have my Brian Froud's Fairy Oracle if I could only have one Oracle deck. So that would be my dozen. That, if all my other decks went away, that would be the dozen that I would keep, because it would pretty much cover me for everything, because they go together and go with everything, and I just have had such a wonderful time working with these decks, and I appreciate them and their creators so much. So thank you guys. It's getting on to about a half hour here, so I'm going to shut up and let y'all get back about your day. Just want to throw some love out there. Enjoy this wonderful hashtag with you and this beautiful summer weather. So happy summer's finally here. Might have been born in winter, but I'm such a summer baby. Anyway, but I love you guys. Everybody, please be safe, be happy. If you haven't already, feel free, if you would like to, subscribe, comment, talk to me about some of your favorite decks or really profound experiences with decks. If you've got any other hashtags that you want to see me do, throw them down there. If you have any video ideas, things that, hey, I'd like to see this on your channel. Because I know I've already got a bunch of walkthroughs and stuff I want to do too. So, but throw it out there. Put it down. Let's have a chat, okay? But until then, just be happy. I love you guys, and have a good one, all right? Thank you. Bye-bye.